right, we want to welcome you guys back into Friday main event Class 1A coverage. We've had our region previews, Lee, 2 previous videos we've had in this classification. Now we're going to do our Class 1A Top 10, and this is something everybody hopes to be on, Lee, because we have a pretty good track record with our Top 10.
I think so.
So we've switched it up a little bit. Those of you that follow our website, FridayMainEvent.com, we posted our preliminary top 10 back in the spring, and as we told you guys then, we would update it as we get information for coaches changes, injuries, transfers. So we're kind of evolving into what we'll have. August 1st is our drop dead freeze, our top 10 as of August 1st, which you might as well say our top 10 is this video comes out. We're not going to change anything now once we do the video. So
they can also follow us on Facebook.
That's correct. Yes, we have a Facebook page, Friday Main Event, on Facebook, FridayMainEvent.com, on the website, and then YouTube /C/Friday Main Event.
Right.
So several means to reach us, and we appreciate those of you that follow us. We love high school football. It's a non-profit deal for us, but that's the way we like it. So, Lee, let's go ahead and get started. We'll start off with our number one team, and our number one team is
Greenback Cherokees.
What a shocker! And they weren't originally. We had Huntington as our number one, but based on what you and I heard about Braden Carnes coming in,
right,
and filling the void they had at quarterback, it just seemed like the right thing to do. Would you agree?
I think so, man. Coach Ryan, he played Whitwell to the wire in the semifinals last year, and I really like Coach Ryan.
I do too.
I think he's a class act. It helped him, obviously, that Carnes coming over from Maryville. And then he's got a transfer, I think, coming in from William Blunt, offensive lineman. It's just a freshman, but I think they're expecting him to contribute some.
And then they've got Bailey. I think he's the number 30 recruit in the state, Lee, offensive, defensive lineman, 6'6", 230.
And then Holden Willis, we talked about in the first segment there on, about – I would just throw him the football. I don't know anybody that can match up with him. He's 6'4", 200 pounds.
He's going to go up and get it. So, and they got another wide receiver. Rutgerson is also a very solid wide receiver. Duke Stennett. They're eat up with talent. Totally
Trace Brown.
He's a running back. Came over from Seymour last year. He's a Gilbert type, big bruising.
Kind of big back.
Yeah, exactly. So they're loaded, man. They're going to be tough. They got Loudon, they got Meigs County, they got Oneida, and they got Lenoir City as non-region games. I'm really looking forward to that. See how that Meigs County game turns out. So that's our number one team, Lee. We've got the South Pittsburgh Pirates at number 2, Vic Grider's squad. South Pittsburgh football is all about Vic Grider, and it's good to see him back. He took a hiatus for a couple of years, 3 years, I think it was. The program kind of fell off, but he's kind of back on top now.
Oh, yeah. They could very well end up in Cookboy. Like we said, I love Rondo Tipton. I think the kid's gotten bigger, faster, stronger. He's already pretty big, pretty fast, and pretty strong last year.
Yes, sir, he was.
He's a force to be reckoned with. And then, of course, Sanders, Braden Sanders. We talked about maybe coming back off an injury. It'll be interesting to see how he progresses or has progressed in the offseason if they can keep him healthy. But tradition at South Pittsburgh,
it means a lot, doesn't it?
Means a lot.
Yeah.
And those kids are winners. Cole Gamble, preseason All-Stater they've got right there. Buddy, I might have a 1A and a 1B.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's pretty tough.
Well, maybe in a 1C.
That's right.
Our third place team, Lee, is Huntington Mustangs, and Eric Swenson's team, I feel is the best team over on the west side of the state. We've said this all year. I think this is going to be a 4-horse race to Cookeville.
I do too.
And Huntington is among those 4. And with 8 starters back on both sides of the ball, Eric Swinson, we had him in our spring show. We interviewed him, and he said this is the best returning squad he's ever had as a head coach.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, he's got three preseason All-State kids. Brandon Lawton coming back at tailback. Hunter Inslee's back. Connor Pearson, Drake Butler. Only thing is, though, Daquan Robinson, he lost him.
That was a concern to me. I mean, that's a 1,000-yard rusher, 16 TDs you lose out of the lineup. And I know the style of that offense he runs with that wing T, that they've always got another fullback ready to step in and carry the rock. But, I mean, you're losing 16 TDs you thought you were going to have back. That's got to affect you some way, doesn't it, Lee?
I think so, but I still think they're probably the west side of the bracket there. I would still have Huntington at the top.
Yeah, I think so too. I like them. I like the Mustangs at number 3. At number 4, Lee, was the 4th team in that 4-headed race we was talking about, and that's Lake County. And I really like Lake County, the Falcons, Josh Puckett's squad. They've been right on the verge of making the finals the last 2 years, losing in the semifinals at Cornersville 2 years in a row. They've got a lot of kids back. 7 starters back on offense, 8 on defense. What do you think about Lake County?
I like Tanner Snyder, senior quarterback, coming back. That's going to be very beneficial to them. And we'll see, man. I think they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I like them too. They got Union City as a non-region game. That might be an interesting matchup with Darren Bowling's squad coming to Lake County. Crockett County, as you mentioned, another non-region game. Westview and Ripley rounds up their non-region schedule. I'm kind of interested to see how they do against Dresden, given the fact that Dresden put it on them pretty good last year, beating them by 20 points. How does Lake County respond to that? That's what's going to be an interesting match for me personally. But, I like Lake County a lot. And I think that Dresden game, Lee, is probably going to be, the game that everybody's going to be looking forward to at Lake County. That's on September the 6th. And anytime a team hangs 60 on you, you got that encircled on the calendar.
That's right.
Lee, at number 5, we've got Cofield, Keith Henry's Yellow Jacket squad over there in Region 2, a very solid Region 2. Anthony Foster's back at running back, Seth Lowe. They've got Peyton McKinney, Parker's younger brother, wide receiver. And then they've got Dylan Stewart, the big offensive lineman.
Right.
He's a preseason All-State player. A lot of kids back, 15 starters back. How do you like the Yellow Jackets?
I think that 5 spot's probably right. I think they'll come up, they'll have Greenback again probably in the quarters.
Well, they haven't beaten Greenback, Lee, since quarterfinals in 2014. We like to say that's a rivalry game, but at what point, is that no longer a rivalry game?
Well, Greenback's had their number for a while.
Yeah.
October the 11th, they'll host Greenback. We'll know more then.
Yeah.
But I like them, man. Seth Lowe, really good tailback they got. And then obviously that offensive lineman, that's going to help them. They're senior heavy up front. So we'll see. I like them at the 5, though.
I like them too. We got Gordonsville, Lee, at number 6, the Tiger Scott Clemens team. We covered them pretty extensively in our region preview show. 6 starters back on offense, 7 on defense. Of course, they did get knocked out by South Pitt in the second round last year. 9-3 last year, 6-0 in region play. I like the Tigers at number 6.
I do too. I think this might be your sleeper.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
I think they may be the sleeper team because they got Watertown and Trousdale County and Coalfield. They're going to be battle tested going in.
They had a 3-way this spring, Lee, with Forest and Cornersville, I believe. And my understanding was of the 3, Gordonsville looked the best. So you're right. That may be a sleeper pick in 1A this year, and they may contend, with South Pittsburgh to get the opportunity to go against Greenback in the semifinals, I think.
Well, one thing that I like about Gordonsville, all of their offensive linemen and D linemen are seniors.
That's good. A lot of experience up front.
Played together for a long time, and that helps.
That always helps, no doubt. Lee, at number 7, we got Freedom Prep, and that's another team, as we mentioned in our region breakdown, Lee. Not a team we know a great deal about, but I think they could potentially be a team to contend with Lake County, maybe in that third round. And they hung 33 on Lake County last year. They've got 19 starters back on that squad, so I don't know. What do you think about Freedom Prep? Good spot for them?
I think so, man. But they are loaded with some athletes.
Yeah.
What may hurt them is losing those couple kids.
Yeah,
that we
transfers.
talked about transfers.
Right.
That ain't going to help them going down the stretch. But they've got plenty of guys to fill in. So I think we'll be all right. I think 7 spot's pretty good for them.
Yeah, that losing Tevin Carter at quarterback, the kid that transferred to Memphis Central, now as we mentioned in the region covers, he's supposedly headed to Ravenwood.
That's right.
Him and Chris Morse, that's going to be huge shoes to fill, but I think that's a solid pick in our top 10 at number 7, Lee. At number 8, we've got our buddy Bronson Bradley's Mount Pleasant Tigers. I like the Tigers a lot. 18 starters back, and as we mentioned in the region breakdown, Hayden Lovely, senior quarterback. That's always a good thing to have, a senior quarterback returning.
That's true. And they're going to be strong. They'll be tested. I think the 8 spot's pretty good. I really do.
I think the game at Cornersville on September the 20th is really going to tell a lot. That's a mid-season game. They should be gelling pretty good at that point in the season. You're a month into the season.
Right. That's correct.
And they got beat 48-0 last year. We talked about that earlier, Lee, in the last video. How much of a impact does that have on the kids, knowing you're going to Cornersville, a team that shut you out 48-0? Can you get past that?
Well, like I said, the only reason I think we'll talk about Cornersville here in just a second, but I think the reason why we have Mount Pleasant, or in my mind, above Cornersville is considering that they have 18 starters coming back.
Right.
That depth and experience, but that can, like you said earlier, be misleading because all those kids at Cornersville have played a whole lot of football in the last 2 or 3 years.
That's right. I wasn't real sure. I think I actually flipped them 2 or 3 times. Lee. I couldn't. I did the same thing in the region preview.
Right.
I like those teams. I think they're 1A, 1B. I don't know which one's 1A and which one's 1B. That's the deal here. And as we talked about earlier in our earlier video, that region is very wide open. Huntland and Moore County, we can't count them out. They're solid programs.
That's right.
Lee, at number 9, we just mentioned we got Cornersville. Not a lot of returning starters, but Jared Randolph, I think, and his staff really impressed me. We saw him up in Cornersville the last 2 years, and I got to talking with his D coordinator, his offensive coordinator, and they are behind this dude 1,000%. And they even said, whatever offense you throw at us, Coach Randolph is going to come up with a game plan that's going to shut you down, and that proved so last year with the 10 shutouts.
Well, they're definitely, when you talk to them, they're all on the same page.
Yeah.
They all got a common goal, and there was no big I's and little U's. A very humble staff, and
Right.
It shows in how they approach the game and how their kids approach the game, and that's why the community over there at Cornersville likes them. I actually love him.
Love him,
And, 9 may be, I don't know, maybe low. I don't know. We'll see. It's just hard to replace.
I can tell you their fans
many.
think it's low. I got a little flack about that when I come out.
Well, they just lost so many good
They
players,
did,
man.
and you don't know. You really
don't
don't know. But I'll tell you what I do like about this program. In 2017, when they lost that title game to Greenback, Coach Randolph, in my interview after that game,
That's right.
we'll be back next year.
That's right.
How many times do we hear that in Cookville? They were back.
That's
Lee.
right.
So I love that right there. He knew what he had, and
That's
he
right.
did. He had some good kids, had a good staff, and I think they're going to be good again this year. Lee, rounding out our top 10, ironically, is a team that won the state title, went 15-0 last year, but that's another situation we talked about. Randall Bolden is out. Travis Olinger is in at head coach. how do the kids, and they lost a lot of starters as well, but how do the kids respond to a new head coach, a new captain,
Well, they got 4 preseason All-Staters coming back.
So they got talent.
They got plenty of talent. The big test is going to be at South Pitt on October the 18th.
Yeah, no doubt.
Be interested to see how they handle it. I don't know that their numbers are up. I know they've got 4 preseason All-Staters, but what do they have depth-wise after that?
That's a good point. Yeah, they need to stay healthy, I think, and I don't think they are very deep. They lost a lot of starters, and a lot of their skill positions are what's gone. They got a lot of the linemen, a lot of the support staffs back, but most of the skill players are gone. So that's the question mark right now, in my opinion, is depth. How deep are they, and how well can they hold up to the rigorous, part of the schedule, as they go.
Right.
All right, Lee, we're just going to quickly name off a few teams we had outside our top 10. This is, I don't know that 1A is as deep as a lot of other classifications, but there are several teams that were right there on the verge. Wayne County was one of the teams we had right on the verge, and probably you can make a case for any of these teams being in the top 10. Moore County, another team, we mentioned them. Huntland was another team as well. I think Dresden, if Wes Johnson is successful there taking over for Levi Estes, I think that's a program that's on the rise. And Oliver Springs.
Yep.
Oliver Springs is another program I think will do well. They give Greenback a good game last year in the second round, 33-12. So, and they're in that tough region too. So that's some teams we had just outside the top 10. But that is the Friday main event, Class A top 10, and we appreciate you guys. Hopefully you watched all 3 in the series of Class 1A. Next we'll be coming to you with Class 2A. Regions 1 through 4. We'll do the same format for 2A all the way up to 6A. This is Mike Molder, and he is Lee Teat, and this is a Friday main event. Please click the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. We need subscribers, don't we, Lee?
That's right.
If nothing else, that kind of shows us that we've got some people that enjoying what we're doing. So, Lee, we're going to sign off here, so we'll see you guys with the Class 2A Regions 1 through 4 next on the Friday main event.